It's that time, guys. Time for my monthly update. Right, Ari? Welcome back to the channel, Book Dragons. I'm so glad you've joined me today. We're going to talk about everything that I read in April. We're going to talk about what I plan to read in May. And then we're going to talk about some of my highlights for April as well. You know the drill. I kind of changed things up a little bit last month, and I decided to just keep going with this format of just presenting you the highlights for the month. So we're going to get right to it. April was a bit of a crazy month, so I'm actually surprised that I completed all my reading for April. My daughter moved in with her partner, which was kind of wild. I'm starting to experience the empty nest syndrome. My son still lives here. He's going to be home from college for the summer, but man, I don't know. I'm really happy for my daughter. I'm so proud of her, but at the same time, I miss her a lot. So just with everything going on and her moving out, I'm really surprised that I got as much done as I did. So let's talk about what I read in April. And I'm going to put my eyes on here just so I don't miss anything. I've got a few notes here in front of me, and I've got Ari here to help remind me and keep me company. So the first book that I read was actually just a continuation, and that was The Mysterious Mr. Quinn by Agatha Christie. This was a buddy read with my good friend Mona Lisa from Mona Lisa Reads, and it was quite a different book. We didn't quite finish it in March, and so I carried it over to April, and I did end up finishing it. I do have a review on the channel for it as well. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave it in the cards at the end of the video. You can click one of those to go watch it. And it was a really good book. I enjoyed it. It was just very different than what I've come to expect from Agatha Christie. And I think that's a good thing. I'm learning to see shades of nuance with her writing that I think is really good. The next book I want to talk about is The Bands of Mourning by Brandon Sanderson. This is book 3 in Mistborn Era 2. I'm so close to being all caught up with the Cosmere, guys. I've just got one more book left in Mistborn Era 2, and then I've got the short story Mistborn Secret History, and then that's it. And then I'm all caught up until Wind and Truth comes out. So yeah, I'm almost there, guys, and I really enjoyed Bands of Mourning. It was a little bit slower than the first two books, but man, people talk about that Sanderlanche. I know my friend John over at Talking Story loves to talk about the Sanderlanche. It was definitely there, guys. That story really ramped up fast toward the end, and it packed a huge punch. So I really enjoyed it, and I'm so glad I got to read that. I will probably be tackling The Lost Metal, I'm thinking maybe in June. We'll see. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to land with that yet. The next book on the list is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This is the first book in her Villains saga, which, from what I understand, is planned to be a 3-book trilogy. There's only the first 2 books so far, Vicious and Vengeful. So I read this one, absolutely loved it. I did do a review on it, so I'll leave that in the links at the end of the video as well for you to check out. Such a great book, guys. Highly recommend it. If you have not read V.E. Schwab, you are definitely missing out, because I am quickly becoming convinced that she's an author I need to read everything from. It's just, yeah, that's how it is. So, V.E. Schwab, Vicious. And then the 4th book that I read for the month of April was The Toll by Neal Shusterman. This is the final book in the Arc of a Scythe saga, unless you count Gleanings, which is a collection of short stories set in this world. And I do count Gleanings, I probably should, so I still need to read that, but I've completed the trilogy, and it was a magnificent ending. I loved it so much. I cried. It was just one of those books where I was like, okay, where's my tissue box? Where are my tissues? I need my tissues. I need them. It was such a good book. This is easily one of my favorite series, and that list of favorite series just keeps on growing, guys. I'm gonna have to figure out a new method of classifying my. Oh, you're getting down already? Okay. Need to find a new method of classifying my favorite books because my list of favorite series is getting out of hand. So The Toll was magnificent. I highly recommend it, guys. So, what am I doing for May? I've got lots on the docket for May. Some big ones. And the first one is going to be Tigana by Guy Gavriel Kay. I've been wanting to read Guy Gavriel Kay for a long time, and I hear different things. Oh, you need to start with Lions of Al-Rassan. Oh, you need to start with A Song for Arbonne. There's all these different places that people will say to start. Tigana was the first one that came on my radar, and I know it's the most fantastical of all of his books, so I figured that's probably a good place for me to start as a fantasy lover. And I'm going to be buddy reading this book with my good friend Rebecca over at Rebecca Nicole Reads. You need to check out her channel, please. She's amazing, and she and I are going to be buddy reading this. I am so flippin' excited. I can't wait. This is going to be a fun one. And then I have to look at this because I want to make sure I pronounce it right. Dilatov Pass by Alan K. Baker. This was my patron pick for this quarter, and I'm really excited to check it out. It sounds like it's kind of historical fiction based on a real-life event that happened in Russia, but it has kind of a supernatural ending to it. I don't really know a whole lot about it. I'm going to go into it blind, but I'm really excited to check this one out and see what it's like. It'll definitely be something different than I normally read. So I'm very excited about that. And speaking of excitement, guys, I am so excited for this next book on the list. That is going to be Empire of the Damned by Jay Kristoff. This is the second book in his... I don't know what he calls the series. I'm just going to call it his vampire trilogy. I think it's going to be a trilogy. I don't know. But anyway, Empire of the Damned, guys. I have been waiting for this book to come out. I was able to get it through my friend via Illumicrate, and because my other copy is Illumicrate as well, and I'm just so excited to start this book. So I'm going to be reading this in the month of May. So that puts me at 3 books, guys. So, you know, I'm kind of trying to read 4 books, and you're probably wondering, Chaz, what about your Stein of Power? I'm so glad you asked, because it is that time. The Stein of Power is about to speak. The Stein of Power is about to speak. I'm going to dig my little hand in here. We're going to see what I come up with. The Stein of Power has spoken. All right, let's see what we got here. The Crystal Cave. Oh, sorry guys. The Crystal Cave by Mary Stewart. This is the first book in her Merlin trilogy. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that there. But I'm so excited, guys. So I have the omnibus of this series right here. I have the omnibus, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to break it up because it is a trilogy. I wanted to break it up into separate books and not read the whole thing at once. I figured that would be a little easier. And the font size isn't necessarily what I wanted to be reading. It's not a great font for me, so I figured breaking it up into the 3 books will be a lot better. So I am going to start reading The Crystal Cave. I'm so excited, guys. Guys, okay, I had to make this really quick edit. After I found out that I was going to be reading The Crystal Cave, I talked with my friend Alyssa over at Into the Heartwild, and she wants to buddy read it with me. So we're going to be buddy reading this in May. So I just had to make that quick update because I want you guys to make sure and check out her channel and just let you know that I'm going to be buddy reading with her. Here we go, back to the video. I read these books when I was a kid. I borrowed the books from my grandmother. She had a huge library of books, and I fell in love with Mary Stuart's Arthurian legend right away. And it's been years since I've read this. So this is going to be a reread for me. But I can't wait. I'm so excited about this. So, you couldn't tell I'm excited, right? I knew you couldn't. So, all right. Well, that is that, guys. I've got a really great lineup of books for May. And make sure you let me know in the comments below what you think of my lineup, because, it's important to me what you think. It's most important what I think. I'm really excited, but I hope you're excited too, if you're one of my followers. So now let's talk about some of the things that were highlights for me in the month of April. And I'm going to start off with an easy one. I did a video called Favorite Books of All Time. And guys, I have never had this happen. This is the first video that has ever blown up on my channel. It didn't go viral. It's not in the millions of views and stuff like that. But for me, it's kind of viral, right? As of right now, it is approaching 8,700 views. I'm blown away. I'm flabbergasted. So that was definitely a highlight of April. And then another thing that was a highlight for me in April was Andor. And that is the first season of the Andor miniseries on Disney Plus, telling the story of Cassian Andor, who eventually became part of the crew of Rogue One. Rogue One was an amazing movie, and I really like Cassian Andor's character. This is one of the best Star Wars related series on Disney Plus. It really is. It gives you that classic Star Wars feel, but it doesn't have Jedi. It doesn't have all that stuff in it. It's just got political intrigue, and you can start to see the building up of the rebellion, and it's awesome. I highly recommend it. It's an amazing series. And I can't wait for season 2 whenever it comes. It's probably not going to happen until next year, but I'm okay with that. I just want more Andor. I've got to see where this goes. I'm a huge Star Wars nut, and forgive me for liking all the things in the expanded Star Wars universe that Disney has created, but I do. I do, for the most part. Some stuff is not quite as good as others, but Andor killed it. Oh man, love that show. I also got to go see Spirited Away with some friends. This was my first time watching Spirited Away. If you're not familiar with it, it's one of the more popular Studio Ghibli or Ghibli. I don't know how you pronounce it, but anyway, the animation studio from Japan, the very popular one. I went and saw Spirited Away at a local theater here. It's part of Fathom Events, which I think is owned by AMC. But anyway, they're doing the Studio Ghibli Fest, and Spirited Away was the pick that we went to see, and it was just amazing. One of the best Ghibli films I've seen, and I just can't wait to watch more. I need to watch more of the movies that studio puts out because I'm always impressed. The second trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine came out, and guys, I am so going to see that movie as soon as it comes out. I can't wait. I think it's coming out in July, or maybe it's June. I'm going to have to confirm, but I will be there whenever it comes out. I love Wolverine. I love Deadpool. The first 2 Deadpool movies are some of my favorite movies that are anything related to Marvel. And it was just a blast. So I can't wait. And it's going to be everything that we wanted from Deadpool. Vulgarity, breaking the fourth wall, lots of blood, lots of violence. It's what we want from Deadpool, guys. And I'm there for it. I just can't wait. And it's rated R. I mean, come on, that's the only way to have a Deadpool movie. Okay, I'm getting off my soapbox with that. So that's pretty much all the highlights from the month of April. And I've told you everything that I'm going to read for the month of May. And I would love to hear from you guys. Please chat with me in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on everything that I've shared. I'm so excited to dialogue with you. Let me know in the comments as well what you're going to be reading for the month of May. If there's anything you're especially excited about, let me know that so that I can rejoice with you and just be excited together. And that's really why I'm here, guys, is to get excited over books. And I hope you're excited with me. So have a wonderful day. Make sure you're reading more books, and I will talk to you very soon.